Happy Sunday afternoon, gentlemen. Just wanted to get back in a little bit on our discussion post in the league. Appreciate Lori/Derek leaving his message, kind of his thoughts. I did appreciate adding those on. Eric's comeback thoughts, which I think we're back on the same page with that as well. And then just all the random talking throughout with Derek M. and Doug M. and Andy Helmholt, and then Mike Samuels, of course, just encouraging everybody to put on their big boy pants. So kind of where my mind is headed a little bit. Derek, I did listen, of course, your free agency, and if Eric has time to take a look at it and everything, but maybe that's something we could do. And I'm semi-open to it. We could still possibly do something with it. I just feel like that could be something as far as holdouts that could cause an additional problem or issue in the future, because I think the definition is going to be varied quite a bit. What? Just stop right now. I think the definition could be somewhat varied, and also the limitations could also have some issues. And again, kind of like what I said in my last video about players underperforming their contracts, are we going to get even into something like that? So again, if we want to open up that whole portion of the league, I think it's going to take a lot of detailed description to it, and probably another 10-page article that nobody will want to read and then complain about, and then later on complain about because they didn't read it and didn't understand the rule, and then there'll become issues. So initial thoughts with that. Other side of things, the long-term free agency, as I'm listening to Eric and Andy, and obviously reading these and what Derek said as well, I am starting to lean towards putting something into effect for next year, just because, as Derek said, this won't be a problem again, hopefully, or at least taking care of the rules so there isn't a problem later on. I think I'm going to put a couple different amendment options out there that we can vote for, and I think they're going to be the following. Either one, that when you sign somebody, that you cannot sign them to a long-term free agency contract. It could only just be the 1 year. So that, I think, is going to be option A. Option B, putting a max cap on that, whether it's 2 years, 3 years, etc. My thought is a maximum of 3 years with it. It's kind of the middle ground between just your normal 1 year deal and then a 5 year deal later on. And then also an option 3 that I think Eric had mentioned. Actually, I take that back. Somebody else mentioned about doing it where it has to. The 2-week time period. How you cannot sign anybody to a long-term free agency contract unless it's been at least 2 weeks after the time or the player was initially dropped. In that case, somebody could sign them after 1 week, but just for a 1 year contract, or they could do up to the 5 year deal, but they have to wait 2 weeks. Which I guess that throws a little bit of a curveball into the system. Maybe everybody decides to hold off hoping they'll get the long-term contract from somebody, or somebody just jumps on them right away and says, I want the 1 year deal. So again, that's going to be a little bit more of a variable type decision to make if we decide to do something like that. So I'm going to put that in writing onto our page here, and then put up a little bit of a poll type situation where people can vote. I think this is a semi-big decision for LTFAs, so I'm going to give everybody till Wednesday night at 11:59 to go ahead and vote for that, and this would be into effect next year. I really don't think we can penalize anybody for anything this year. It isn't fair, quote-unquote, because it wasn't in the rules, so I don't think we need to go back on the year as a result of that. And unfortunately, as we talked about, a couple people did benefit from it. Dustin did, Eric did, Andy did, etc. But you know what? That's literally a quarter of the league at this point. So I can't reverse something that happened to the quarter of the league. And I'll go ahead and put that on now. Everyone have a good afternoon watching football. Go Bears.